Oh, it's almost done. I know it's almost done.
Hello, my name is Takako Funaki, and I'm currently 18 years old. I'm a freshman in college, and I was I was born in Tokyo, Japan, and I was kind of raised here, I guess. So that's why I don't have accents and stuff. But it's hard for me to pronounce things because I am from Japan, and I only lived there for 3 years. Um, but still, my brain is filled with Japanese, and I don't think I'm good at speaking English or speaking Japanese because my mind is really messed up.
Girl, that you remember you gotta listen to what these guys say. No, I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to express my thoughts and feelings, especially because of the culture, but also because when I was 7, I was traumatized with stuff. So then that just stopped my brain. But I'm trying my best every single day, and I feel like it's a great process. I mean, progress. But I actually have a question, if you don't mind. Um, but I go through racism in a daily basis, and that's because in America, I feel like Asian racism is very, very normalized, which makes me sad because Black Lives Matter, and then they're all like, if someone says the N word, they're all like, hey, that's you shouldn't say that. But then if it's about Asian, um, it's like becoming a trend with the models like pulling their eye look, and that's like a fashion now, even though we were mocked. And that's just embedded inside. And I was gonna ask, like, how should I respond to racism? I don't know how to react. Like, should I say something? Should I not? I don't really know. So that's my question.
That's a good question. I would say totally understand what you're saying. I go through that every day. Even at Northeastern with some professors, I went through that with some with some students. I went through that. The only thing I would have to say is just talk to them and explain things to them. I feel like it takes one person to start a movement in order for some people to follow. So if you think it's uncomfortable what they're saying, or anyone in particular mention anything regarding your culture or where you are or who you are, I would absolutely address it to the person and correct the person. Because if you don't correct the person might say that same thing to another person outside, and that would cause a fight. And as we know, a fight leads to police coming in. A police coming in leads to getting arrested or going to jail. So I definitely would address the issue with the person right away and let them know, hey, I feel very uncomfortable with what you say. I know you don't care, but I care because this is my culture and this is who I am. But I don't appreciate that. That's not my history. That's not where I'm from, and that's not who we are. So respect that. If you don't know anything about it, it's better you just keep quiet, or you read articles, or you dig deeper into your history rather than you mentioning some negative thoughts about or negative things about my culture or my tradition or where I'm from. Just make it simple and sweet. You don't need to like raise your voice, because the more you raise your voice, the more complicated things get. Just in a calm, simple, subtle way. And if they don't listen, they'll learn outside. I'm positively sure that there's someone that would teach them the hard way outside, and which it should not happen, but unfortunately, that's the society we are in right now.
And one thing I'll say is the only way people could learn about other cultures is by like actually going to that country, and they now realize, oh, what I've been hearing outside is wrong. And I get a lot of that stuff where like someone literally comes to me and say, oh, I've been to your country before. It's nice, it's this and that. There are so many people that not everyone know about culture until they actually go to that country and like experience it right there. That's one thing there. Sometimes people will say like, do you speak this certain language? And then what I do is I throw back the question to them like, okay, if I speak in this certain language, would you understand? Do you think it can be written down or something like that? So the way I approach something like that is by throwing that question back to them. But sometimes it's not necessary to do that, but at some point you have to like approach them, challenge them in like a way that is like kind of necessary too or so. But what I do is I throw back the question to them. You don't have to get mad about what they say. I know it's insulting, but they have the best way for them is to like go to that country and tell me what you see there. Do you see what other people are telling you, or like, something like that, So it's just the way I put it. Like,
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
no problem.
Okay, Xiomara or Diane, you want to
Can I say one thing to
yes, please,
Takako though too?
please.
So I think one of the most insidious things about racism is that the victims of it tend to internalize those impressions of themselves. And so what you have to remember is their ignorance is never about you.
Mm-hmm.
You are a strong person. You come from a culture that is proud and long, and whatever they're saying to you has nothing to do with you and has everything to do with them. And so and I know that's hard in that moment because, as Ahmed said, you are insulted. You have just been accosted by this person's ignorance, but it is not about you. And it's unfortunately, it's often, all too often, by people that look like me, right? White men in this culture, and it's terrible. So I'm very, very sorry that you've experienced that, but it's not about you. And I don't know. That's all I can say. Sorry.
No, I love
Yeah.
what you're saying, Richard, because I feel the same way. Like sometimes I guess I don't even pay attention to those things and I don't let that go inside of me or myself, that I just ignore it. I mean, like, but it's not because I want to ignore and say, hey, this doesn't affect me at all. Like, I don't really, I mean, like, the life is so great and there are so many great people in the world that I just focus on the good ones. I don't focus on the bad ones or the ones that do not bring any positive things to my life. So it's like, it means, that his vibrations do not go with me. So I just do not pay attention. But of course, if something like telling me in front of my face and I don't like it, yeah, I will say, hey, I don't like that, or that, like that kind of things. And then I always try to educate. So showing, hey, like this is what we do, like, in my country and all of this, and people, like the people, who wants to learn will learn. And the ones that it doesn't resonate, they will go. And it's not even, I never take anything personal. And I have done a lot of work on that. So it doesn't have to be anything with you.
All right.
We are all unique and important people, and and you are your best friend. So do not let those things get inside of you.
It's easier said than done. It's gonna take a lot of practice.
Yeah.
I know, I can tell you that right now. It's gonna take a lot of practice, but you're gonna get there, and you're gonna get to a point that you're just gonna be like, go ahead and say it. I know who I am. I know where I'm from. When you are ready to be educated properly, call me, and we'll go to my country or we'll travel, and you will learn. I don't have time for any of songs. Immediately. I sense negativity. I just say, hey, I don't have time right now. It sounds like the way you're having this conversation is leading to a way that's making me very uncomfortable. We can talk about something academic, meaning that our class work, and move from there.
Right.
I don't really need to answer anyone's nonsense.
Yeah, and then you have great people who love you. So we're good.
and like most of these things, it has to do with like politics. I'll be straight out with you. It's about politics. Like, I'll tell you right now, politics messes a lot with people's mind, where like just like what's going on right now, it's politics. So like that's why I don't engage myself in too much politics. Politics has to do with race, it has to do with this, to do with that, Try not to let that mess with your head. It's politics. Just there right now. And it's the fact. So yeah.